everyone. Welcome to this edition of NAAP News Now. My name's Alisa Tagg, and I am the Association Director for the National Association of Activity Professionals. I'm so excited to be with you again here on Friday, June 16th. And our special guest today is Brandon Herr, who is the live streams manager for an independent living organization in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Brandon,
Hi,
how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, good. So, thank you so much, Brandon, for joining us today. I'm super excited to have you on board. I know you've been at St. John's for a little over 3 years now, and you have a large campus. You have about, what, 360 people
Yeah,
with?
we have about 360 residents in our independent living towers, and then we have another about 75 in our assisted living floors.
That is so awesome. And I know that's your day job, and you do a lot of fun things on the side that we're going to be
Yeah,
talking about today. And so I'm so excited to have you with us today. We had the opportunity to meet in person at the NAAP conference. Thanks for
yeah,
coming and really got to know you well there. And I'm grateful that you've taken the time today to be with us. So thank you for doing that. So
my
I want
pleasure.
you to just start off by sharing just a little bit more about where you work and about you and your
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, so I'm here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I have a bachelor's degree in theater arts, and I have a background in nonprofit work and event management work that I've been doing for the last 10, 12 so years. I'm currently working at St. John's on the Lake as one of the live streams managers. So live streams for us is all of the 7 dimensions of wellness where we provide programming for all residents, whether in independent living or assisted. And then there's Ann Luther, who does the programming for the assisted living residents. And in my free time, as Alyssa kind of she hinted to, was I do perform with a local company called Purse String Productions, and the last 4 years I've played Rose in the Golden Girls Christmas special, and the last 2 years I've played Linda in the Bob's Burgers Halloween special, and those are both coming up again this year. So it's just another fun outlet. I get to, do some theater and spend time with some really fantastic artists. And I do live in Milwaukee with my husband, JD, and our dog, Bailey. And what's really nice is I live maybe about a 10-minute walk away from where I work. So on nicer days, I can just stroll on over, which is really, really helpful.
Well, that's super fun. And what a fun life to have, in Milwaukee there with all the exciting things that you're doing, not just for the residents, but also personally and with your husband and your cute little dog and being able to just kind of enjoy life because that's what it's all about is being able
Hey.
to really enjoy our lives. And so tell us a little bit more. You've talked about with me privately, but you've talked about all the educational opportunities that you get to
Mhm.
provide for your residents. And I think that is super exciting because I think education is probably one of the pillars that is lacking regularly, in communities. And so just tell me a little bit more about what you do and what that consists of.
Yeah, so we have residents from, I mean, their background and their history is extensive and it's phenomenal. And they don't want to just sit here. They don't want to just go, okay, I'm going to go and watch a movie or something. So we try to highlight key important events throughout each year, and we try to do some education pieces around that as well. And this consists of bringing in a number of different speakers and presenters to different performances, whether cultural or just a theater piece or something, and just a lot more of things like that. I think on average, our community does, my department does about 165 programs of some kind every month, at
Oof.
least.
Wow.
Yeah,
Now, so I just want to caveat that with it is independent living. So it's
yeah,
super important that everyone that may be watching that works in skilled nursing, obviously that number may not be, the number, but I do
right.
think educational opportunities are super important. And
Mhm.
you also, you talked about the pillars that you looked at. And so you have opportunities for residents in your communities to serve on different organizational communities within
Yeah.
that. So what are some of those what do they entail?
So in our independent living, we have our resident council structure that has a chair, a vice chair, and then a secretary. And then underneath them, there are the 7 different dimensions of wellness, which are environmental, emotional, physical, social, intellectual, spiritual, and occupational. And so there's one resident per dimension. So they kind of spearhead that area. And then underneath all of those dimensions are many other different committees. I think there's at least 38 different resident-led committees. Some of those have some staff on them, and some of them are just residents who are working hard to make things just so much better here at St. John's for themselves, and even collaborating with the staff to make everything, our lives a little easier too.
So I think love the fact that you have 38 different committees and that you're able to allow for these residents that live in there to be active and engaged and involved in their daily lives, and being able to make the decisions for themselves, because that's what it's all about, and having that ability to do that. I also like what you said, because I think a lot of facilities are struggling with resident council structures. And so you mentioned that you don't really have a president or vice president, you do these chair positions, which I think is a better term.
Yeah,
It's more contemporary to today, and understanding, that concept. And I think that allows people maybe to feel a little bit more excited to serve, than president. Some people kind of
right.
get a little discouraged by that term.
Yeah, and our COO attends every resident council meeting, so he's
Awesome.
right there with them. So when things come up, he can take down notes, and at the next meeting, he can give an update and say where things are at. So we're really working closely together, staff and residents, to make everything run smoothly here.
That's fabulous. That's the way it needs to be, right? For
Yeah.
sure. So I know that Juneteenth is on Monday, but you
Yeah.
had the opportunity to celebrate it a little bit earlier. I think you did it yesterday, and so you had this great event. So I love to share, because so many people are struggling with how to celebrate Juneteenth, and what should we even do about Juneteenth, since it's a newer holiday for a lot of people. I mean, it's been around forever, but
Yeah.
it's more on our mindset now that it was declared a federal holiday a couple years ago. So just tell us a little bit more. What did you do for that?
Yeah, so yesterday was our third annual Juneteenth celebration campus wide. So 3 years ago, I had just started. My boss was, kind of new in her role as well, and we said, we need to do something that is a campus wide event, not just for the residents, not just for the staff. It needs to be for all, 600 people that are involved in this community here. And so we started brainstorming all these great things, and we have a staff member who is on our, I believe, third shift maintenance, who he has a band. So we talked with him, we got him in, and they got excited. So he put together this great set of Motown and just big hits that people can get up and dance and have fun. He brought in some dancers and all sorts of good stuff. And then we also have another employee who leads a staff extreme hip hop step class. And so this was the first year they got involved. And so when the band took a break, they went out and did some of their pieces. And so, it was a little chilly. It was a little cold yesterday, but we had residents that stuck it out. They were in their, winter coats and a blanket, and they were having a great time. We also highlight two local Black-owned businesses. So one is Heaven's Table Barbecue, and the other is Confectionately Yours. And they've been with us since the first year, and their businesses have continued to grow. And they provide all the food and all the desserts and all the beverages for our whole campus for the entire event. It goes from 11:30 to about 1:30, and everybody comes down. And we try to have the first half hour be for staff only to come through the food line that have to get their food and then go take care of some residents or other things that they can't step away from. And then at 11:30, it opens up campus wide, and everybody's downstairs. The music is loud and everyone's having a good time. One of our front desk resident service specialists, she also has a side business of doing balloons and decor. So we worked with her, and we got these beautiful black, red, green, yellow balloon columns and things, just to add a little decorative flair. And actually the caterer for the dessert brought these cute little keychain pins and there's all different shapes and things. So it's just a nice way to really be in a community and really celebrate each other and celebrate just life, and we have a blast, and everyone talks about it for days, and everyone's full for days, and it's a great time.
Oh, I love that. And I love how you honor the Black-owned businesses in your community. And I appreciated the shout out. I was going to hope you did that. If not, I was going to say, what are their games, so we
Yeah.
know to go
Yeah.
to if we're in the Milwaukee area, and just having the opportunity to talk about celebration, because that's what it's all about. Juneteenth is all about celebrating, and it's all about being, happy for freedom, and being able to
Right.
do everything that we've been able to do over the last several years. And obviously June is also Pride Month, and we are very aware of that. And I know you personally, Brandon,
Yeah.
probably celebrate Pride all year long personally, but how can one celebrate Pride all year long community wise?
So one thing I didn't mention in my bio, I'm also a volunteer for Milwaukee Pride Inc., which puts on our huge festival. It's a 3-day festival here on the Summerfest grounds. We're one of, I think, the only, if not the only festival that actually has a designated area that is our space for the festival. And I think this year it was well over 40 or 45,000 people that came and celebrated over the course of those 3 days. And my role is I'm the hospitality manager. So I make sure that all of the volunteers, myself included, because the entire event is put on by volunteers. I make sure we have food, we've got water, we have sunscreen, and everyone is like happy and having a good time while they're celebrating. So one thing that people can do is get involved with local pride or LGBTQ plus organizations as a volunteer. I know they're always looking for people, and you may think, oh, well, they just asked me to clean up this thing, but to them that just saved them a position. Like there are little things like that you may not think are helpful, but they're extremely helpful to the people that are there doing that work every day. And something I do every day here at St. John's is I show up 100% as my authentic self. You can see, I've got my nails done, and the residents love it. Everyone enjoys the fact that I am myself when I come here. It definitely helps to create better and stronger bonds, not only with the residents, but with other staff as well. And even when we have presenters or performers come in, they feel that, they see that, and we welcome everybody in with open arms. So that's, a number of different things there. I'm a member of our staff equity, diversity, and inclusion committee. And we meet, fairly regularly to discuss, important current topics and things. And we also have brought in a couple of speakers that have done different trainings for the staff that we've actually made mandatory. So we started at management, we had all the managers go through it. And then from there, they brought it down and they brought it to their different departments so that everybody was, getting this very important cultural training. There's also a number of resident committees that are racial justice or diversity inclusion, and we kind of pair together with all of them. And we also just look for programming that's not just for June.
Yeah.
So I'll find movies that have an LGBTQ plus theme, or we'll find speakers or presenters who are, or people of color, or celebrating people of color, anything like that. Just so it's not so saturated in June, we do it all year round. We currently have a beautiful art exhibit that is all highlighting African-American people. And it's just a stunning exhibit. And it's going to be here for like 4 months, and everyone, gets to walk by. And I've had so many staff that have come up and just say, holy, wow, that's phenomenal. We've never had that here at St. John's. So even little things like that we can have that are highlighting all those things, whether it's subtly or whether it's, campus wide, there's all sorts of things that you can do.
Thank you for saying that it's so important for you to just show up as your authentic self. I think so many times, especially our elders that come into our communities, struggle with that
Mhm.
and feel like they have to return to the closet. I see this so often, and we don't want to have that happen. We want people to feel included. We want people to be like themselves when they enter into our communities, and having staff members like yourself help with that, and encouraging that and inviting that. And I think we can all do that. It doesn't matter how we identify. It's exactly how we can all be, is
Yeah.
just loving and kind to each other, and who people are is who they are, and just loving them for who they are. I love
Yeah.
that.
And when I walk arod every day, because you have to have your name tag on, I have my pronoun button and I
Yeah.
have my love is love button. So that way, anybody that walks by, if they know that I'm a safe person to come and talk to if they need it. And the pronoun button was a huge a huge topic last year. We brought in a very knowledgeable local speaker who is just phenomenal, and she did a whole hour-long presentation on pronouns.
Ooh.
And I had so many residents show up and just go, I don't understand it, but I want to get to understand it because I want to learn it for my grandkids. Because they're starting to have their grandkids, discover who they are. And it was so beautiful for them to say something like that, to say, I want to do this for my family. And I want to make sure that they see that I know it's important. It was really beautiful.
That's what love is all about right there, is just doing it so you can understand and love others. It was just beautiful. So, do you have any suggestions on how people can do more with communities that celebrate cultural events and do different things like that? Do you have any ideas for us?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm gonna say, just first and foremost, be yourself, be authentic. Don't be afraid to test the waters when it comes to bringing in a program. Your residents will let you know, they'll talk to you. If you bring something in and they're, questioning why you do it, you can explain, I did this because we need to start highlighting some more things. You could even do a survey to your residents and say, we're looking to celebrate Pride, we're looking to celebrate Juneteenth, we're looking to celebrate Black History Month. I've got some great ideas, but I'd love to hear what you want to see here. And if you don't have a committee, like a racial justice committee or an equity, diversity, inclusion committee or anything like that, start one. Like, do the dirty work and get it started. Reach out to your local communities that are around you, or anywhere else, reach out to me. I'm here in Milwaukee, but I'm happy to have a conversation about what we're doing and get more in depth about the specifics of how we get different speakers or how we get different celebrations started. And really take the time and educate yourself. There are so many things out there that you can watch or read, or people you can connect with that can get you more knowledgeable on any topic that you may be questioning.
You make a valid point there, Brandon, is that we are responsible for ourselves, and we need to take the time to educate ourselves on these topics if we don't understand, and recognize that. I would love to sit in a lecture on an hour on pronouns and understand it more myself,
Yeah.
and being able to recognize that too. And I'm so excited that there are communities out there like yours that is taking the time to do this and to provide such supportive services to all their people that they're working with, whether it be their residents or their staff, that it's an all-inclusive opportunity for everybody to feel comfortable with who they are. I think
Yeah.
that's just beautiful. Beautiful. Well,
Thank you.
all right, Brandon, do you have any final words of wisdom for us?
I do. So I found a really beautiful quote from Barbara Giddings, who is widely known as the mother of the LGBT civil rights movement. So her quote says, "Equality means more than passing laws. The struggle is really won in the hearts and minds of the community where it really counts."
Mm, yes,
I thought that was
community matters.
powerful.
It's super powerful. I got chills when you said that because it's such a powerful quote. And I want to thank you, Brandon, for your time today and also for your knowledge. You've really given a lot of great insight and a lot of great information to really think on. And I just wanted to let you know, I didn't want to tell you in the middle, but JD and Bailey were watching and they said hello. And
Hi.
and just say thank you so much for your time today with us. And we look forward to learning more from you and others about how we can celebrate pride and culture within our communities on a regular basis and not just during the month of June.
Well,
All
thank
right.
you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back here next week with our next guest, and we look forward to seeing you then.
All
All
right,
right.
take
Take
care.
care. Bye.
Bye-bye.